And as I look around the room and see the signs, you clearly have shared your thoughts around this issue. And one of my colleagues sent me a post that says a high-profile person is coming to your town. And I said, who's that? Let me tell you something. My name is Eric Adams. I grew up in a small area in Queens, young man, dyslexic.
Oh no.
I'm not high profile. I'm a 22-year police veteran. I wore a bulletproof vest for 22 years protecting children and families from the city of New York. And so here's what we want to do. We want to have an opportunity. We want to have an opportunity to hear your questions. We are going to remain quiet when you ask a question, and we would like that same when we respond to a question. We want to engage in not a monologue, but a dialogue. We want you to hear our facts. We want to make sure that your neighbors can hear from each other. We want to make sure that you are able to we want to make sure that you're able to communicate. We are going to respectfully listen to your questions. We're not going to cut you off. We're not going to heckle you. We're not going to yell at you. We're going to allow you to say, we're going to allow you to say what your thoughts are and what your feelings are. We're not leaving until each one of your questions are heard. We know that we don't have to agree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. And I want to share, before I turn it over to Anton, I just want to share one story with you. My close friend, mother, passed away from breast cancer. And she was petrified over following the trajectory of her grandmother who died from breast cancer, following her mother, and she went to Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, they were able to use artificial intelligence to early identify her breast cancer. And the same happened when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The doctor told me, Eric, in a year, you're going to lose your sight. You're going to lose some fingers and toes. You're going to have surgery. Using my doctor, an AI, early diagnosis.
Simple blood test.
Talking about, as one gentleman stated to me, when we start talking about, as you asked the question, sir, when we start talking about our hate of technology, when we start talking about listen. When you talk, I'm going to listen. We are not here to heckle each other. We're here to have a dialogue. When you talk, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen when you talk. When you talk, I'm going to listen when you talk. And so, what we want to do is to show you that when we heard how other companies did not produce the right product, we said that we wanted to hear the concerns across the country, and we wanted to produce a product that you can look at and examine so that we know if we like it or not. If we like it or not, folks, data centers are going to be here. Data centers are going to be in our country. Data centers will be in our country.
Not in Rapids. Put it in your backyard.
What we must determine is what's the quality of the product in this country. Because if our data is not here, it will be somewhere else. And so what I want to do is we're going to turn it over. To
You live next door to it.
folks. Anyone can heckle, but not everybody can communicate.
Give them the mic.
I'm going to turn it over to explain. I'm going to turn it over to explain our project. Then we're going to open the floor. We're going to open the floor for your questions. And all I ask is while your neighbor asks a question, let them ask the question so we can answer the question. That is our ask. As your neighbor asks a question, give us the opportunity to answer the question that is presented by your neighbor. So again, I'm going to turn it over to Anton, who will explain the project, and then we're going to open the floor up and allow you to ask your question on the project. Okay? Anton.
Morning, everyone.
Go away.
Come on, we can say, even if we disagree with the project, we can say Anton, go ahead.
We're okay now? Look, I know that you have a lot of questions, so I will make it very, very brief, so we have more time to talk. Because the reason why we came here is to have this dialogue with you. I know that there's...
Steal our water.
May I ask,
Tell us who you are, you Russian. Tell us who you are. Are you a citizen of the United
Can you do the presentation? Can you do the presentation? Next question.
if you didn't come here to listen,
Are you a citizen
you
of the
don't need
United
to
States?
say.
Are you a citizen? Shut up! Let it speak!
Thank you.
Look, again, I will just spend 2 minutes to explain the project and the specifics and details. But I will just go to the PNK is an engineering company. We are the industrial developer and developer of the data centers. What we want to do is to build a turnkey infrastructure, and this is very important. And that actually makes us different to many other data center developers. Can you hear me well? Right. Okay, so is it? So once again, what we're trying to develop is the turnkey infrastructure for the data center. And it is important to notice that because that is different to some other developers are doing, like just developing the land, for example. We're actually building the data center, and it is very important for us to be a community member, to be a good neighbor. So this is why we want to have this dialogue with you. Okay, so that's very, I hope this is clear. Now, this is an industrial zone. We are not asking to rezone it. It's already heavy industrial. Indeed, we are proposing a clean, safe, and quiet solution how to use this land. And I will ask the questions on the noise and everything else, okay?
Everybody in the country that has these can't be wrong.
I see all the signs, and thanks for putting it there. On the river, it's a very good one. We are not touching it, right? So there is no interaction with the water whatsoever. There is, I saw the sign on the water consumption. We are not consuming the water. It's a closed-loop system. We are applying for 10,000 gallons per day, and that's it. Now, before I just start the questions, again, what we are trying to do here is just to listen to all your concerns, hopefully answer some of them. If we have some questions still to address and research, then we will come back to you, and we will have more conversations like this. What I'm asking from you is just, let's have a civilized conversation, please. That's it. So let's start the questions.
I have a question.
Is this a done deal?
Oh, we're gonna bring the mic to you,
Yeah.
sir. We're gonna bring the mic. One, two. This one is ours. One, two. Not okay.
What I suggest we do, we focus on the project itself.
One, two. Okay, there.
By focusing on the project itself, we'd like to know who's running this operation. And from what I understand, you, sir, are not an American citizen. You're Russian. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Is it the question?
The question is, are you an American citizen?
I have worked in many countries overseas.
Okay.
That's a no.
Answering your question, I'm not an American
I
citizen.
have one more question, and one more, and then I'll let it go. Okay. I just heard recently, I don't know if this is true or not, but you're going to be powering this plant with electricity by the dams, part of it. The other part of the propulsion is going to be natural gas, supposedly, but I understand that natural gas generators are not going to be available to start, and you're going to be using diesel. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
That's not true. You're not going to be using diesel. Okay.
What about the backup?
Okay, so the two question was, will we be using diesel? The answer is no, we will not be using diesel.
What about that differently on here?
Permit, your permit. It's in your permit. Your permit.
We're here until you finish asking your question. So we gotta go. Your neighbors are raising their hands. They're following some form of procedure. We're going to go to each one of you. All you have to do is raise your hand, and we're going to come to you. You don't have to yell it out. We're going to come to you. We're here until it's finished. We have another question here.
No lies.
I'll come to you. Come on.
Thank you. So the last 3 years on record have been the hottest in the world ever recorded on the calendar. Average AI centers have created a 4 to 16 degree heat increase in up to 6 miles around them. How are we going to stop that? It's already getting 90 degrees pretty much every day, almost 100. The UK is being destroyed by the heat. People are dying, and we're going to just put a heat bubble right here. We're gonna go
So I would like to know a little bit more where this information coming from, because I don't really have this data.
You should.
Use AI to get it.
I think I can provide you with information. Loudoun County, which is the largest data center area in the United States, recorded a lower temperature in their air.
And there's no talk of a lawsuit. They made it. Loudoun hates it.
So Loudoun County was the coolest area in its so I just encourage everybody to get all sides of the story.
We got them.
But that doesn't make sense.
Oh, we're the coolest. Data center.
your neighbor's question if it's about you ask a question, we answer the question. That was the step. Yes, young man.
Just before, sorry. Yes, I would just would like to add something. So, also what we need to understand that there are different technologies, right? There is a modern technology that we want to build, and there is a known technology with the water evaporation. So to your point, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Trent.
Nice to meet you. Yes, the old data centers that used to evaporate water, they were changing the environment around them. We're not doing this.
Oh, you're the machines that don't make heat.
And they don't transfer. And don't be transferred.
We're gonna one, two. If you have a question, you raise your hand. We're gonna come to you. This young man is not calling out. Is raise your hand. We come to you. This young man right here.
All right. My question is twofold. First, what is your connection to this data center PNK company? Why are you a spokesperson for the company?
Yeah. Good question.
The second part of the question is, how are you going to best act as a spokesperson given connections and indictments and stuff? And I know that has been you're innocent until proven guilty, and the indictment was dropped, the DOJ dropped it. I was just wondering how they're going to act as a spokesperson given the allegations, whether true or untrue, of corruption. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
That was my question.
Crypto coins.
Why am I spokesperson? This is what I'm clear on. In our country, and throughout our entire country, we're going to need the technology of artificial intelligence in our country. For health reasons, for education reasons, for a number of reasons. So my question, thank you. Can one of your neighbors, could one of you who believe in the right for us to answer and have a dialogue, can you please help us here? We're trying to have a dialogue. And heckling is not a dialogue. So I'm just trying. The young man asked me a question, and I'm not avoiding the question. He's answering the question. So there are two answering your question directly, young man. When I realized what around healthcare, around education, around what AI is doing and what other countries are doing that is exceeding us, I realized that we're going to have data centers in our country. So why can't we have it that is not harmful to our environment? Why can't we have it that is not going to be destructive? And when I sat down with PNK, I said, here are the things that I've heard around the country as the mayor and others, that what people have with issues with data center, poison in the water, the heat issues, there's noise issues, all of those issues. So we created a product that answered the questions that people had concerns about. That is why I joined PNK, because I think it answered those questions. Now, when you talk about what? Yeah, I'm hired to be part of the team. I'm hired to be part of the team to make sure we do this, to go in and have these conversations. And I don't want to separate what role I had as mayor and what I'm doing as PNK. After this meeting, you want to talk about that, we can do that. The next question. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Adams, sir, you didn't answer his second question. Mr. Adams, you didn't answer his second question, sir.
My question is have you built another data center somewhere in the country to these exact specifications with all the same systems in place? And if so, where is it?
There you go.
No, we have not yet.
Build one first.
We have the best team of the engineers. We have the best team of engineers that deliver the data centers.
We saw the problems of other data centers, and we said, how do we build a better product around closed loop, so we don't, as that one sign states, so we don't dump water into your river? How do we make sure we do with noise mitigation? How do we don't have trucks on the road? We said, let's look at, if data centers are in America, folks, if data centers are in America, if we don't have data centers here, then our data will be held in places like China. Data centers are in America. We said, how do we build a better product that didn't make the mistakes of others? You know what, man? We're going to come to you in the back also.
Okay, I have two things. First of all, I am Carrie Betcher. I am the one that probably got most of you to come here. So I need you all to do me a favor. If all you want to do is shout and yell and protest, please go outside to shout and yell and protest. My question for you guys is, please tell me this. You have already said you have not built one yet. Do you have your specifications? I am well aware that technology does advance, things do get better, and we can make things better. Do you actually have technical documents out there that do show us what you're telling us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Thank you. So yes, absolutely. We have a concept that was reviewed. It's absolutely, yes, we do have documents. Yeah, absolutely. Look, what is happening right now, it's a very, very early stage of the design and the approval process. Right? We asked for the conditional use approval. It's not the approval to build data center. It's just the confirmation that, yes, you can build data center there. But then, to your point, you need to develop a detailed design and get through all the reviews and approvals properly. Thank you.
Hi, I live across the river. You can almost see my house in that picture there. I worked at the craft mill, the paper mill. Between my husband and I, we have 45 years. So I know the pollution, the dangers, the smells. I know it firsthand. And when it was still there, I lived across the river. I still heard the noise, the pollution. And since the craft mill's been gone, it's been like a wonderland for us, sitting in our backyard, listening to the birds and not hearing the noises from the craft mill. Our property tax just went up extraordinary. Our electric bills have just gone up in the last year more than we could imagine. What I'm saying is the value of my property and the quiet enjoyment of our retirement years that we worked so hard for is going to be affected by this. And to put it right in town is ridiculous. Yeah. You're going to affect everybody around you.
You got a question here? What's the question?
Let her talk.
Let me talk. I want to know what's the upside. That's my question.
Yeah, what's the upside?
What is the upside for this city?
I understand. That's a great question. Thank you very much. So, first of all, on noise. The modern data centers are not noisy. The city has
Let me answer.
The city has a very strict ordinance on the noise. It is really strict. And we've done the acoustic model already. We're fully compliant. So there is no problem with the noise. On the upside, and this is what we, also why we came here, we want to hear from you what the city actually needs. Because part of it, there must be development agreement with the certain commitments that we will take, and yes, certain benefits that we will provide to the city.
What
That's a question for you.
And hold on. And that's what Anton is stating. We walked that location. We walked that site. When the paper mill was there, you did not have access to that waterfront. You did not have access. That paper mill was dumping into the water. The reason we went to walk the site and the reason we're doing these conversations is for you to be part of the community benefit agreement. Building access to the waterfront, allowing all of that land that has gone unused. We want to know how do we develop something on that land that turned into a brownfield. So that's part of these conversations.
I'm still waiting for a benefit. I'm waiting for a benefit.
One thing.
The benefit needs to come from you. Listen, ma'am, listen what I'm saying. We need to hear from you. And what would you like to, we need to hear from you. And what would you like to see on this site, the part of the site that we're not using, that we're not using, the part that we're not using.
Eric, I'm right behind you, just real quick. So community benefit agreements are typically further down in the process. However, the issue is we can't make an offer to the community without hearing what the community needs and wants. Right? There are things like a waterfront park.
technical
I'm
industrial
speaking.
complex
Thank you.
there.
Thank you. I'm
That's what we would
speaking.
like.
Bummer.
Who are you?
So what I was just trying to say is we're here to listen to you. So if you have ideas of what you would like to see in your civic center, waterfront parks, school, gymnasiums, or whatever that is, those are the types of things that you can make requests for. If you would like to see reduces in tax benefits and things like that, those are things that we want to hear from you. So please let us know how we can work and help with you.
What's your name?
Who are you?
I'd like to ask a question, so I didn't be heard, if you could, please. You're asking us to trust you, and I'm curious, Mayor, you were indicted for 5 counts of bribery. All right? And, unfortunately, you were pardoned by our esteemed president, so you got pardoned, and then you left the country. And I also know that you're involved in a crypto coin. So one question is, how can we trust you? Because you're a convicted felon, you're indicted for bribery. And secondly, you talk about how AI and the medical use of AI, but given your ties to cryptocurrency and to the Russians, how can what is your AI data center going to be used for? Because if you're going to use it to do a crypto mine and actually profit billionaires and on the backs of our community, I don't think that cryptocurrency is exactly a really good use of AI. So one, we don't trust you, and 2, we don't trust billionaires to rape our city.
Trust is not taken, it's earned, and we're going to earn your trust.
Did you Google that response?
So there's definitely not a crypto mining facility. It's a IT compute facility. It's either cloud services or AI or a combination of it. It's not cryptocurrency facility for sure. We can, again, going back to the development agreement, we can actually commit to this.
But you don't know who's operating it. How do you know what they're going to do with it?
Well, we can select the tenant, right? And the tenant counts for 10, 15 years.
But it's all about the money.
Of course, yeah.
You can select the tenant and we don't give them.
The person that's following, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Thank you. So earlier she asked, what does this community need? And as I was reading through your flyer, it talks about the creation of jobs. I mean, over the last 30 years, having been born and raised here, it's really sad to see we relied so heavily on the paper mill industry and don't have jobs. I have 2 sons, 22 and 25. They have absolutely no desire to settle in this community or raise their families. But beyond the jobs created through the initial construction phase, how many permanent jobs are we actually talking about?
What do they pay?
Yeah, so the data centers do not create a lot of jobs, that's true. So we expect anywhere between 50 to 150 permanent jobs to be there.
And then how does that benefit? I have heard, and maybe I'm wrong, that it was more in the ballpark of 20 to 25 permanent jobs. Is that accurate?
No, that's not. So we expect from 50 to 150, and it's also a very wide range because it really depends on the product.
And then number 13 on your flyer says, how will local businesses benefit? So it says this is expected to generate business for hotels, restaurants, stores, contractors.
Yeah,
And is this primarily focused around the construction phase? Like what happens with the economy once the construction is done?
That's a good question, thank you. So first of all, yes, there is a construction phase where we have a lot of people coming in and they stay for 2, 3, 4 years. And then data center creates not a lot of permanent jobs on site, from 50 to 150, but it creates temporary permanent jobs. When people are coming in all the time and renovating, just let me finish this, and renovating the data center, because the industry is advancing and changing so fast that you actually do the renovation all the time. So all these people will be coming in, they will stay in the hotels, they will spend money in restaurants and keep their cash in the local bank.
Thank you for taking my time, or for listening to me. We all just found out about this, like, 6 months after it all started. Maybe even longer. I don't know how long it took. We just found out this week that you were involved in it, and we just found out your name maybe 2 weeks ago. Why should we trust you when you haven't been honest from the very beginning? And now you're including people that are, on the national level, considered to be not trustworthy. And now you're coming here and you want our time and our energy, and we appreciate it. I don't understand why we just found out. I don't even know that it was even out there that there was this meeting. The only reason we found out was because these young ladies who are really putting a lot of time and energy into putting information out for the rest of us. And I was trust you when you didn't even put this on in a trustworthy way. Why are we supposed to believe you, and why are we not supposed to be able to call out your lies? Tell us where the trust comes from. We're not going to wait till it's built, and then all of a sudden, everything is happening. That's not trustworthy, and you're not being fair to the rest of us. Stop. Go away. Put more time on it. Put more time on it, and actually prove yourself. Because right now, nobody's going to believe a word you say the way you came about your business.
We're not extorted.
So, first of all, I agree. We should have done a little bit more work for sure in the very beginning. And we will have more communications like this. And again, what Eric said previously, we want to build the trust, right? So we'll invest our time and effort in the communication as much as we need. Yeah, just on too late. Nothing decided for you. Nothing is agreed.
Really?
That's a very, very early stage of the project.
I feel like our mayor is already made the
I'm just,
Oh!
I'm wondering if the PNK group will commit on the record to not seeking a tax incremental district or property tax abatement now or in the future.
That's a good question. So we as a developer will not. Our tenant potentially will ask for the sales tax.
Oh.
You're done.
I live 5.5 miles from where you want to put this site.
and our wells are not in good shape as far as water. I'm asking you, where do you figure on getting 300,000 gallons of water a day when only 100,000 gallons get left over after the 200,000 gallons get burnt off to cool all your coils? And are you going to guarantee if our wells go dry that you're going to drill a new well and pump it into our house?
So that's very easy to address. We need just 10,000 gallons of water per day. That's the usual use of the industrial building. Guaranteed. I can sign it now.
Answer the other part. Will you replace the well?
Hold on, let him. He asked, your neighbor asked the question, he's answering the question.
So once again, the data center was the closed loop. Does not consume water as you think. It's just regular consumption like any industrial building. It's basically domestic use. We're not evaporating water. And this is what we have put in our application for the CUP. Yes, we will commit to this.
Answer his question. Answer the wells. About the wells? Answer the wells. Answer your question.
No, we will not
You can say
deteriorate the wells. We're taking the water from the natural.
Tapping all over the country.
They'll be using Kellner's wells.
Look, there is no impact on the wells.
But when there is.
We are using 10,000 gallons per day, right? It's just, that's really nothing. And we will get it from the system. We're not
Where's the water coming from?
We're in a drought.
If the wells go bad, we're going to replace them. Answer that question.
I think I answered the question.
No question. It's a yes or no
Can
question.
you give the microphone please to the gentleman?
Let me just quickly ask the question. I guess the question that I have is, do you have a ready-made tenant for this site? I know that PNK previously, they had a site that became an ICE detention center, for example. So, do you have a ready-made tenant for this site already?
We have potential tenants. We haven't signed anyone because we don't have any purchase orders.
So your answer is no.
The answer is no.
You're going to build a leave town. That's what you're going to do.
I've got a comment rather than a question, and that is to one remark that you made right from the get-go, was that a lot of communities are afraid of technology and what's to come because of technology. We're not afraid of technology. We just love our community. And when you like something like that, you don't want to give up anything. And we don't want, if this goes to fruition, we want it the same as it is today.
And well said. And I think that the love of our community helps us make sure, because I was talking to a Marine earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. I can say our because my 19-year-old uncle died defending this country, so I can say our as much as I want.
You had indicated earlier that this, I believe it was a question that was asked if you had produced a data center to this point, and you indicated no, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so how can you guarantee that this closed loop system is only going to consume 10,000 gallons? If you have a concept, you're not going to sell people here on the concept.
Sure.
So, I mean, you can indicate potentially that that's what you believe, but you have no proof that that's the amount that it's going to consume, correct?
Well, if I may, that's not correct, because it is proof the closed loop already exists in the country and it does not consume water.
Not 10,000, they told us 50,000.
Where does the heat go after it evaporates? Where does all that heat go?
I hear some comments on what something said earlier. We need to refer to the facts and refer to the CEP application, which is, I believe, public.
Mine's a little bit different here. You spoke to data centers being built in China, not America. Why are we using a construction company that is not an American construction company? Everything that's going on, even our own mayor said that the federal government could come in and militarize this site if they wanted to, which means they could create a detention center here. So there's no guarantee. You don't even know who your client is after this is built. You're telling us that. So what are the guarantees that you're going to give us?
Guarantees on what? As the data center. Because we're building a data center. Because we applied for the data center.
And he's got indictment charges, so how are we to trust your application?
So my whole point is Eric is telling us, you know, we need this data center, we need the technology, and America's got to be it. Why aren't we using American companies?
No, this is what I said. We will have data centers. Data centers will exist.
They do.
They will exist. And the more and more we use technology, the more and more we're going to need data centers, our emergency technologies, our healthcare, all of this. The question becomes is how will they be built? Where would they be built? I don't want my data, personal data, in other countries. That's what I said.
Then why do you fly to Israel all the time? Answer that, bitch.
PNK is an American engineering company. There are no ties to Russia.
But you're not an American citizen.
Yeah, PNK is the American engineering company. That's correct. That's correct, sir.
And the legislation started to open up Wisconsin for data centers in that same year. It's just very interesting.
Sorry, it's just very interesting that, when you look up PNK and Andrei Surkov and things like that, where this is just shady, it seems to me. We're not getting clear answers, we're not getting guarantees on anything, so why should we trust you guys?
Exactly.
So let's have a dialogue here, right? So what kind of guarantees? Let's be specific.
Well, then it's going to be used in what you're telling us, which you've never built before. Where are the guarantees on that? You don't know. You don't know how much noise and how much pollution or PFAS that is going to come from this
We're not
system.
experimenting.
You still have to a closed loop. You still have to clean that out. Where is all that going? I mean, it's not plain and simple. I do live in the technology center. I understand technology. I'm also 99% healthcare is our clients. I know exactly what our providers are doing throughout the country. So don't sit here and tell me that, you know all. You're not supposed to, again, this is a small rural city in Wisconsin, and we're happy with what's here.
So my question is a few of them. The gentleman raised the issue about the heat, and that information came from Healthy Climate Wisconsin. So it's just not somebody pulling this out of the air. My other questions are, to fill your closed loop system, how many gallons or whatever of water is that going to take to fill that system originally?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first of all, on the heat, I would like to see this. I would like to see this information if you can share, so we can take a look and come back with the engineering answer. If this is
You
okay.
don't know the answer.
Look it up yourself.
No, that's I can. Yeah, so on the heat, I would like to see this because the gentleman also referred to this. So I would like to see this information and come back with the.
What about the temperature of the water returning
So
to the river?
we expect that if we stretch the filling of the system for 2 weeks, there won't be any additional load on the system at all. This is what
There's no maintenance on the system? Ever?
I don't want to hear it's not going to be overload the system, because I live in the town of Grand Rapids. We have wells, we have points down because it's a sandy area. And on top of that, the wells that Waterworks and Lighting companies are out there in the town of Grand Rapids. So, it's not like the wells are somewhere else. They're in the town of Grand Rapids. And right now, we are having a drought situation. Yeah, we got it during last night. But that's not going to...
I understand. And this is a very good question. That's a real concern. So I will have to come back to you with a precise number. But what I can say that if there is any risk...
Ask the redhead.
If there is any risk for the wells, then we can bring it to tanks. So it's not a problem.
You still don't know how much water it's going to take to fill that system?
I personally do not. My engineering team does, so we'll come back to you.
Well, where are they?
You should have brought facts along. Don't give it up.
Okay, so for thing is, you're supposed to, in the conditional use permit proposal here, saying that you should have 18, you're gonna have 18 to 24 generators. Diesel backup generators.
Yes, that's good.
And what are those generators going to be powered by?
That's diesel.
Diesel? Continue. Okay, what is, now diesel generators are going to produce a lot of pollution.
And noise.
They're going to be run 1 to 2 times per month for 30 minutes.
Yes, that's correct.
So there's
That's
There's
a
a lot
lie.
of maintenance.
a lot of noise and a lot of pollution.
So on the noise, there is no noise that will be going out. Let me finish, right? Because again, there is a city ordinance that we have to comply with, and we will. You have to be the acoustic model, you have to submit to the center, you have to make sure that all the generators that you have, you also include the acoustic enclosures, and build the sound mitigation walls, the noise mitigation walls to suppress it. So there won't be any issue with noise.
You don't
What
suppress that
about
kind
the
of
pollution
noise.
from
Wow.
the diesel generators?
There's
You're not going to be able to enclose that.
no
The
way.
pollution from the generators are going to be out there exposed. The fuels are going to go out there.
We have to, so we have to go through the, again, approval process. We have to apply for the air permit. So all the generators and all the potential emissions that we will have, that must comply with the existing rules.
Okay, the other question I have is...
Share the mic.
Closed loop system, and what chemicals are you going to be putting in that closed loop system? And they have to be flushed every so often.
There you go.
So we have to use the mixture of the water and the polyglycol, like 25% of the glycol. But we're not flushing it off. So once you top up the system, you keep it closed.
Okay, your chillers. The chillers have got to be, it says limited to a few hundred gallons per year. Those chillers got to be, the water in those chillers got to be changed. And that's going to go into the wastewater treatment plant. And if they're telling me that there's not any chemicals in this whole process, and the wastewater treatment cannot take out things like forever chemicals or PFAS or anything like that. It's not gonna happen.
Absolutely. No chemicals can be discharged to the system.
That's right. Because that then we will bypass and go into our river. So you're telling me that not have any chemicals in this whole loop system to maintain it?
We're not planning to discharge any chemicals.
Where are you going to discharge it?
No.
Where are you going to discharge it then?
There is no discharge. It's closed loop. It's very simple.
No, that's everything I've read. Closing system, chemicals in the system.
So I suggest we do this as the case study, right? I would like to see the source of the information. Please share it with us. We will study, and we will talk to you next time and explain why this information is useful.
That is your job. In your concept only.
Hold on, you got another neighbor that want to ask a question.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Adams, and I'm curious from you as well. Do you live next to this? How close would you say that you would live to a data center?
Include your lives in Turkey and
I will
Albania
make
too.
sure that the data center is not any way harming my community, and I don't have a problem living next to.
Because there's none in your community.
I would not have a problem of living across the street, down the block, or near a data center.
Then do it. Then put it in your backyard.
Got another neighbor that want to ask a question.
Start telling the truth.
Sorry, Congress, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. Nothing to do with him politically, but he's in Congress, and he obviously is seeing things that we don't see. He came up recently and brought up that the heads of AI, like Elon Musk brought up that 50% or more of all jobs will be replaced in the next 5 to 10 years. One of the owners of Facebook, Meta, is breaking down they want to get rid of almost all their employees. The owner of Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, says he believes they can go fully autonomous. 500 to 600,000 jobs gone. That's their plan. They're planning on, you're talking about having an AI data center while AI is learning to work on itself, and NVIDIA is announcing that their AI can now work on problems while working on problems. Besides the health, which we obviously all know, so I'm not going to get into that. I have a million health points that this is not positive for my health and my child's health. But outside of that, what is the benefit to any community when really the only promise you have is like the motherlode of technology that we're not asking for? We want jobs. We want security. We would like to wake up, get outside, know that the world's a normal place. We can go to work, get our money, not worry about digital currency, not worry about surveillance states, which is another thing that Bernie Sanders brought up, which is not my favorite guy. He brought up clearly that the owners of AI talked about surveillance states. We see the flock cameras. I mean, there's so many points to make. It's a waste of my breath to be here with you. But I have to because here you are in our face. You talk about how we don't have the information for you. Why do we need it? I did not get anything in my mail asking me, hey, this is all of the studied information, like I'm not even going to get it, studied information on the stuff you're talking about. A second ago, you were like, hey, do you have information to me about this? We don't. Where's yours? I didn't get it in the mail. Talking about how you can guarantee where the heat goes. I don't have anything talking about guarantee where that water goes. I don't have any guarantee where my jobs go. No guarantee of who you are. I see the mayor's meeting with people saying, oh, I'm upset that some people are, literally in the mayor's talk, on his pep talk, he goes, some people are upset. Some people are upset. Yes, they are. We are the ones that almost town. One more point before I'm done. He talks about tax revenue in. He does not work for tax revenue. He talks about tax revenue for the town. But guess who owns the town by the way our system works? The people. So are we asking for the tax revenue? Are the people really on board? He said that everybody was on board, now they're not. What kind of a joke? The people did not see the AI frontier coming. Had we seen this, had we known exactly what was going on, people wouldn't have been on board. They probably would have spoke up earlier.
Excuse me, before you excuse me, what is your name, sir? You raised a good point.
Thank you. You got my name on my freaking email that I thought I might have should have put on there that I regret putting on. Hopefully that doesn't go to support me because I don't support you.
So I would
You
like
should
to
run for mayor.
look, if there is a diagram,
Like data. I hope you don't use my email like data, because I don't want you to use it any way you want to, like the data you steal.
I'm not sure what the question is, to be honest, but there was a point raised, there was a very good point raised on the guarantees, and I would like to repeat again.
Job guarantee.
Everything that we talk about and finally agree must be written as the agreement. And it must be signed as a developer, as the commitment. Is it okay?
My question,
Is it okay for you?
The question's verified, run in, job.
We did not interrupt you while you were speaking.
Sure. Listen to the question. You saw what people feel. We know what they're feeling. Job.
Local
Where do our jobs go? Where do the
We
jobs
can
go?
go to the next question, please.
I feel like I'm not going to ask anything as great as he did. My question to you, sir, have you built any of these systems anywhere in the world?
He said no.
He said no in the United States.
Oh, okay, right.
Any place in the world, any place in the world have you built one?
I have built different types of the infrastructure assets and residential hospitality, all types. So part of some of these bigger developments, we had data centers. Not of this scale, much smaller, but yes, we have.
In what countries?
Saudi Arabia.
No.
I'm now trying to remember my second part of my question.
Where have you felt it?
Okay, and my comment, sir, diabetes is diagnosed with two simple lab tests. Recently diagnosed myself. I know, two simple and no AI.
Thank you.
Go, those of you who are diabetic, go do the research on what is the early detection of blindness, the early detection of the nerve damage that comes from it. Do the research, and it's very much, our AI is helping doctors do those early detection,
We've been
early
doing it already.
diagnosis, and early treatment.
Mr. Barrington, I'd like to try to, in some way, help you to understand our concern. And I found in my profession that it's very important to put yourself on the other side, because then you can be a better businessman, a better teacher, whatever. So the basic problem that we have really stems from the fact that 2 years ago, our legislature passed a bill that created tremendous incentives to the data center industry by granting substantial state tax and use concessions. Huge, huge benefit to your industry. But what they didn't do is pass any bill that set guidelines for development in the state. There were a number of bills, and you can go online and look for them, that attempted to do that, but they all died in committee. So it's really our legislatures that have done us a disservice by not addressing this, and therefore the burden goes on the community. And the community is overwhelmed. The mayor and all that, they can't address all of these very, very important concerns. They just don't have the staff. And we look to our government to help us, and they're not doing it. And as a result, you are being accosted by all the concerns, rightly so, that are not being addressed by our state government, by DNR, by all of the departments that would be able to address our concerns. And then, to this woman's point, if you had one good example of the design that you're proposing that worked successfully and the community embraced it, you would not have this at all. And you would find at least a willingness to listen. But it's always difficult to be the first because of the uncertainty. And then when you don't have the government, our state government,
providing any guidance. Now, again, put yourself on the other side,
I
and you
completely
can
understand.
then understand how angst that exists in us.
And you want to take our
And then you
job.
gotta be
So
honest.
let me. First of all, this is great. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, we are developing a data center in another community in the central Pennsylvania, and we had absolutely the same questions and the same concerns. So the way to your point, the way we have addressed this, we took the community members and the local officials, and we brought them over to the London County, the capital of the data centers, to see how it actually works, right? And to demonstrate that the data center that is built properly and designed properly does not create noise, create tax revenue, and actually serves as a good community member. So probably we can arrange something like this as well. So thank you.
Did you talk to the residents there or just the people who built them? That redhead again.
I'm sorry. Just I wanted to acknowledge this gentleman real quick, and I'll let you guys know who I am. My name is Alyssa Miller. I've been in the digital infrastructure sector for 30 years, and I've also been in local office. And so, to this gentleman's point, communities are overwhelmed, and conversations like this must happen. And equally, it's important for you all to understand what the process looks like, right? We are in the process right now to get this land to be permitted to build a data center, because about 3 years ago, when ChatGPT was introduced, the big push for data center development happened, and communities like this all across the nation are not prepared. And you have developers that are coming to these communities that are trying to work with communities to solve problems, like taxes and the burdens on your community, like education and infrastructure. And communities are not prepared. Community leadership, they need to also have a vision and mission. And by hosting events just like this, they too are learning and listening to you. And we too are learning and listening. So if a conditional use permit to allow a data center to be built here is approved, then it goes through a detailed permitting and review process that will continue these conversations. This is one of very many conversations we are looking to have with you, and this has been incredibly informative. And so I just wanted to thank this gentleman for bringing up the issue of overwhelm. Eric is in charge of the mic in the room, and he's working through it, and I thank you for the time.
I have a recommendation, and then we also have one question. My recommendation is that we put the brakes on this for now. One of these, a data center, obviously not your data center, was built in Beaver Dam, and it's going to go online pretty soon. I think we owe it to ourselves as thoughtful, decent, responsible human beings to see what the impact is going to be on Beaver Dam, which is a great community. I love Beaver Dam. I also love Wisconsin Rapids. I live in Deering. I would be living right across from that data center. And I don't know if what you do, you file an injunction to hold off till we see what the impact is on Beaver Dam before we let this happen here. And then the other question or comment is, why here?
Yeah, exactly. Why
our community?
And how much bribe money?
Thank you. So, why here? Can you hear me? Yes. So this is the industrial zone. This is the former brownfield, which must be redeveloped. And again, this is a heavy industrial zone that we think absolutely appropriate and suitable for the data center, because the data center use is much lighter use. And the buildings itself and all the equipment will be located far away from any sensitive receptor. We have the closest house to the data center is 1,000 feet away. That's pretty
close.
That's a real. Look, again, just going back to Loudoun County, they have the setback of 200 feet, and they don't have any issues.
Man, behind you.
Okay, I would just like to speak to Loudoun County. I'm not sure if you are aware, but they have actually put in a moratorium. They voted 6-1 because they love your data centers so much. And also, I want to say to your Allentown project, I just read that some farmers are really upset about you guys wanting to put 230,000 megawatt poles, right? Putting electric through their farm fields.
Thank you.
To power the Allentown thing. So that's not even a thing I think I even thought of with all of our concerns. This is like an extra concern. And so I happen to know they're fighting you on that. So any thoughts on that?
Any thoughts? No thoughts? What are your thoughts?
What's the question?
That was the question. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
Okay, so the question is about if Loudoun County is so great, how come they don't want any more there now, please? And also, how this Allentown project, what are you guys thinking about putting huge power lines through people's farm field?
Right, so first of all, the moratorium coming from, because I've been to Long Creek, and they did not. There is
articles about it.
Yeah, I hear that. Sorry about that. I would like to understand where is this information coming from. If you can probably Google and just show us the source, because last week when we had a meeting with the officials there, they didn't know about it. So, but there's a big difference considering, and they said that it's not because at the moment they're building 175 data centers.
It also says though that they rejected a 3.25 million square foot campus, so they're pushing for the
Push back.
It is
just like right
considering,
now.
but it's pretty much like get the fuck out. Like that's where.
Well, that's not the case.
No. You don't know how
I'm
to
not sure what
use
they're
it.
reasons are. There's always that.
Same thing everybody else is reading.
Yes, you were waiting for a long time.
Yeah, hi. So I'm an entrepreneur, and to come back to Big Red's, I'm sorry, Alyssa's, to come back to her suggestion that the city is supposed to tell you what benefits you're going to bring really kind of blows my mind. When I opened my business, I had to tell people what the benefit of opening my business was. Why should a big company be able to get away with just saying, well, you tell us what you want, when any other company that wants to open up has to sell themselves to the community?
Sure.
Good question.
So we can propose, no problem. We can work on the list, but we would like to hear Melissa's point is that we need to have your input. We need to have your input.
You don't need my input. You're asking me to build You're asking me and everyone here to let you come in and build a data center in our community. You tell us what the benefits are.
Yeah.
You tell me what the benefits are. Don't want to be your ideas to make your business a success.
That should have been your number one thing today. That should have been your number one objective today.
So I agree. We can do that, no problem. But what is important for us is just to hear your opinion.
Just give me one benefit you'd like to
One.
bring to the city.
Just one.
Just one.
One.
So what we were thinking is bringing part of this property, and specifically the river embankment, back to the city. So this is something that we can work again with the community, hopefully, because we need your input, we need your thoughts.
I love that. Tell me
and
what that's gonna look like in your vision.
We can propose. So there is no problem.
Yes,
There is
tell
no
me.
problem.
What
We
are
can
you
propose.
proposing? What is the riverfront gonna look like? Yes, tell me what it should look like. Are you proposing a park? What are you?
We are proposing a public amenity at the river embankment. So we need to work on the details, hopefully with you and the city.
Oh, yeah, your company. You tell us.
That's when you're gonna take our
Just
job.
let me answer. I hear your position. That's completely fine. We will do the homework. We will come back and have this conversation.
You should have been prepared for today.
I got a real concern with the heat that it generates. I'm told that it is a closed-loop glycol system. I hear you, but we haven't talked about the heat going into the water and the amount of algae that it's going to produce and the impact it'll have on the environment.
My question, I have read through your paper, and I think word choice really matters. I grew up in this community, and our community is full of aging people, and they're already struggling, and you have a question on your electric bill increasing, and you flat out say no, but then you explain that you're going to pay for the infrastructure that this data center requires. But then you specifically state that electric rates are not expected to increase, and no and not expected are very different things. So if you could please explain to me how you plan to use the electric grid in a way that does not impact us.
Right, thank you. So we are working with the Crypto and the ATC on the specific upgrades that we need to do that we will pay. And the way the rate works, there is a capacity, there is available capacity, and this is why we want this project here. When you use more electricity and pay for this electricity, you're actually covering more indirect costs of the company. So we don't really expect the rate to go up.
That's not good enough.
Don't expect it to.
You know, just excuse me, sorry. Just to know this, absolutely everything starts to consume more and more power. You know that we are developing the industrial real estate on the East Coast, and we have more and more requests for the small buildings to provide 20, 30, 40 megawatts, and that's not a data center, just a manufacturing facility. Just everything consumes more power. That's it.
So, this is a bit of a hypothetical because I really don't know if it's possible. But I think it's important for you to probably understand that the opposition is not all confined to this room. This is probably a very small percentage. We don't have a handle on that. If there was a mechanism such as a referendum that could be put in place, and if that referendum came out with a voice that was very clear that at this time, at this moment in time, Wisconsin Rapids is not interested in what you are offering, maybe we're being foolish, maybe we're not. But if that's what a referendum were to say, would you pull back from this? Or is this a goal that you are now on, that there is no turning back from? And I'd like to know, that kind of reflects on, is all of this make any sense to oppose anything? Or is this going to happen? Or does our greater voice in the form of a referendum, would that possibly change your mind?
Good question.
So your voice definitely matters, absolutely. Your voice definitely matters. We are trying to understand. Can I please talk? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand if this is the right match for the community. And I understand that you have concerns. And again, we're just starting this communication. And through the communication, I hope that we will address these concerns. So I suggest we come back to this question soon, a couple of months.
Oh my God.
No, I can explain why. You don't need to react like this because what I'm saying is
Don't
that
tell us
we
how
need
to
to do a
react.
lot of work on the community engagement and the explanation. Because
Do not
there's a
tell
lot
us how to
of-
react.
There's a
That
lot
was a
of
yes or no.
misinformation out there.
How are you not prepared for today?
They're never, they are not.
Okay,
They
hi.
don't give a
Could
rap.
everyone be a little quiet for me? My baby is sleeping in my lap. So don't cheer for me or anything, okay? Cool? Alright, good. So, my first question, and please don't take this as like I'm totally against this. I'm probably one of the few people in this room you could potentially convince. But what I want to know first is if I can trust you more than I can trust my own mayor. When did you guys start discussions about the data center in Wisconsin Rapids? When did this first happen and who contacted who first?
We saw the opportunity sometime in April and we filed the application.
We have the record.
Sorry, say it again.
Why are there emails that go back to December 2025 with you and city leaders?
Yes, there are.
They're all over online.
Public record.
Absolutely not. So we
Pull 'em up
started
on the big
this
screen.
project as PNK in April this year.
I think that answers the question on whether I can trust you on the level of the mayor. These permanent jobs that come out, how long until those permanent jobs are available?
So we want to develop this in phases, and the first phase is going to be completed in the end of next year. We plan to complete it. Yes.
Okay, so in about a year, my husband who works in IT would then be able to apply for a job then?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I guess that's all. But also, shh, sleeping baby.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce myself. My name is Grant Holly. I'm the Executive Director of the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association. We've been monitoring the situation incredibly closely. At no point in time, if everything is to be believed, we don't want to stand in the way of economic development. Wisconsin Rapids needs it. But we are paying very close attention, and now, according to your own picture, we have a very real concern. Looking at the picture, you have completely obliterated the access to Cranmore, to the river. Cranmore is a collection of 14 marshes that sell $25 million worth of cranberries annually and affect the community and over $200 million. Cutting off this access cuts off farms that are 150 and 180 years old. If it can be fixed, it can be fixed. But I will tell you point blank, you're in Wisconsin, not Pennsylvania. And the farming laws here are incredibly strong. If doing this, you'll be in violation of the right to farm law as well as the cranberry law. And I mean this in my heart of hearts. If that happens, it can be you, it can be Bob from down the street, it can be somebody from Antarctica. I don't care. We will bring every piece of ammunition that we have in 200 years of history in Wisconsin to protect even our smallest marsh. Here, and we own that property. That's a little disturbing because apparently what's now going to happen with the property that we own And this creek comes up and serves an incredibly large community. We're number one worried about pollution and how it may be affected by construction. But this picture today shows me that you're going to completely close it off. Not only is that unethical, it's illegal.
Thank you for this question and the concern. So when I say that we need the input from the community, this is exactly what I mean, right? So we will do now, we will take this as a comment and we will address it. Because this is what we do. We listen and then we design. So thank you for this.
Should have done your homework.
You pointed to Loudoun County as a case study or a comparable for what will be built here. Can you point to, because there are many over there, can you point to a specific facility that you are using as a comparable template to follow for your own plans? It may be a different company, I'm sure it is. It may be a very different set of circumstances, or is this a conglomeration of different plans for different facilities that you are cobbling together into a so-called camel, which is a horse designed by a committee, into something that is advanced? And the second portion of my question is exactly what technology will be used with regard to dampening or eliminating infrasound, which is sound that is not detectable to the human ear, but for instance, it causes people to have neurological issues over time within a certain distance of one of these facilities. So again, two-part question. First, an exact comparable, and then secondly, the safeguards in place with regard to infrasound. And I hate to add a corollary onto this, but will this be submersion technology in which all of these different mainframes, call them what you will, are actually submerged into fluid to reduce sound as well? And if you're not pursuing that route, why not?
Just give me a second. So now ask if I can name the data center that we visited. So that was a data center of a very good developer, it's QTS, and there are actually a lot of them there, and there are a lot of comparables. So again, this is not completely new. There are absolutely proofs that this idea works. The closed loop system works. Absolutely.
I want to hear from an HVAC professional about that.
We can arrange that. I agree. That's a good comment.
Can you or do you have a website set up so that people questions and answers?
Yeah, we do, and I believe that we shared the link, but we will do it again. And this is why we were asking for the email. I shall notify you the way we will communicate. I think we look at this.
So that everybody can see it?
Say it again?
So what I like to see is you have an open forum question and answer.
Yeah.
So I can ask you a question and you can answer it on the website and the whole world can see it there.
Absolutely. That's a great suggestion, and I think we'll already have this form on our website. And I think that if you take that little brochure that we distributed, there is a QR code there. So if you scan it, it will take you to our website. Am I saying this correctly? Okay.
Is a Opier project going to reach beyond the stuff that was started to, let's say, Rudolph, for example?
Sorry, you have to repeat this.
Is the scope of your project going to reach beyond the city limits of Wisconsin areas? So could Rudolph, Wisconsin the city or township of Rudolph be affected or have anything built on
He
it.
doesn't know about Rudolph.
So, no, right? Again, the city ordinance just so, and all that is designed not to create any negative impact to the community. Fools. Thank you.
I know you covered the glycol heat exchanger and the concerns of the glycol getting into the water, but that wasn't my concern. I was more concerned about the BTUs, the heat that you're intentionally putting into the water. I don't know how many BTUs your building plans on creating or generating, but I know that those buildings, data centers, create a lot of heat. Otherwise, you wouldn't have such a massive refrigeration system on. So you put that heat into the water, and you're saying it can't go to another community. But as you warm that water up, that's going to have algae blooms and impact all the wildlife there. And I love kayaking. I look at that picture, and I've kayaked in and out of every bit of that. But whenever I see the green floaty stuff, I know I can't kayak. So you're essentially going to ruin my backyards where I like to go kayak. By warming up the water, increasing all the algae, how many BTUs do you think your building's going to put out and put into the water? How far downstream is that warm water and that warm algae going to make it? Could this impact Heaton Well Lake? How far down is it going to go? How much heat are you going to put into my water?
So thank you for the question, and I think that we had a number of questions here on the heat.
Okay, he's gonna add to this question.
Hi, I'm Dan Harding, and I came here as a kid in 1959. I didn't know the only one in my family that ever worked there in '74, and retired in 2011. And I did work for Quickville Power Company. Loved it, great people, great job. I ran the river. We ran the river as Quickville from Dubay all the way down to Castle Rock. Okay. Here's the problem I have. Wintertime, great, river's fine. But we've had flows as low as, I think it was like 700 CFS. In fact, back in the day, and I don't know if they still do that, but this is pre-2000, where the Dubay Dam would actually close, Pete Run, Castle Rock would actually shut their water off, the generators off, and limit flows overnight, and then they just start them up in the morning at a specific time so they could get enough water going to the Wisconsin Dells to run their boats. Probably most people didn't know that. Okay? But now, when I called last week, the water temperature was 85 degrees in the river, at the bay. At the Dubay site, it was 85 degrees. We got the rain this morning, it was 80 degrees. Now, I have an issue because the river fluctuates. Yeah, you can go back to 2010, we had a record flow of, I think it was 75,000 CFS, and there are times when it's been under 1,000 CFS. Okay, point and take. Well, I was looking up this morning, and a chip, AI chip, the size of a postage stamp. Has anybody ever checked this before? It's got 80 billion transistors. That boggles my mind. 80 billion transistors in one chip the size of a postage stamp, and it can perform 9 quadrillion calculations a second. And it reaches a max temperature. It cannot go over 185 degrees. And I was assuming that this was a standard building, just the standard, the smaller one. So I calculated that there was and one that has 5,000 servers. How many servers is this?
We haven't designed a service yet because that will be dependent on the time.
In a mid-sized one, you got 10,000 servers, but in each server there's 4,500 chips. Okay, in each server. So I just calculated that in a small one, that's 5,000 servers, we're going to have 22,500,000 chips at a temperature that would, I couldn't even. It was 4,162,500,000 degrees. Combined, of course, right? And so the cooling system, I was trying to ask before, it has to be immersion because that's the only one that's capable of doing it. But long story short, is there anybody represented here from the DNR? I mean, what happened to global warming, which I detest global warming, I'm sorry. I don't believe our cows are farting and creating real issues. But I am a citizen and I love Rapids, but I am a concerned citizen and always have been a conservative as far as protecting the environment. And I don't know what 5 degrees will do. You know, to go from 85 to 90 in a critical time period in low flows. I mean, we built, Consolidated was guilty. I mean, I literally dumped acid into a lagoon that definitely went out to the river. And this was probably in 76, 77. I'm sorry. But they told me this is what I did. We did it. Okay. But they cleaned it up. And thank God for legislation, which we could be really contacting. But they cleaned it up, and that river turned into a beautiful river because when I was fishing below the Elks Club, we'd be dragging up toilet paper. So that was part of probably from Burin and every other city on this river. The river is cleaned up beautiful. But there's serious concerns about temperatures and what it would do to the fishery and like you say, the algae and everything else with it.
Can you answer
So,
that?
I'm not sure the question
so
is.
that's my biggest concern. And then my other concern is people, why do we need all this data? I mean, I'm going to talk to one chip here, 91 trillion calculations a second.
Surveillance.
Exactly.
Look at how many cameras
We
in
are
this country.
being, no offense against you guys, but I truly believe that. I mean, if we're competing with China, well, China is not authoritarian. How do you say that?
Authoritarian, fascist.
That's where we're headed.
We're in fascism. We're in that right
No
now.
offense to you guys, but what's wrong with our legislation?
What about the heat? Thank you.
So just let me deliver. So I understand that it is very, very sensitive for the community, the river itself. I completely understand that. So we do not plan to create any heat temperature contamination to the river. Absolutely not. We are not discharging any water. We are not using the water from the river. We are not pouring. No, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. That's completely wrong. It's just a regular chiller that takes the. You're correct. The gentleman that was talking also correct. It's a liquid cooling. So you have this liquid in the system that goes to the chiller, takes the rejected heat, brings it back to the chiller. There is a radiator there that basically pushes the temperature away to the atmosphere, not to the river.
AKA the river.
There is a technology like this, but no, there is.
What are you doing?
Okay, can I see your hands up?
The lady said it was going to be cooler in here. That doesn't make
Hey folks, the library notified us we have a half an hour.
You said
So,
everybody.
yeah, it's the
More lies.
library notified they're going to use this one for something else. So if you would
Is that
just,
true? Is it on the
if
calendar?
you would
Where is
just,
that?
if you,
Everybody. Another library.
Guys, we want to keep going.
if you would just ask a question, we can get to everyone's question. So I got you, man. I got you. If you would just ask a question, based on the hands I'm going up, we'll be able to get to everyone's question. But if you give a whole long dissertation, we're not going to be able to get to everyone's question. So we're going to go, I see your hands up, we're walking to you, we're going to get to you, but we need, please,
All right, then pass the mic.
please ask the question.
My question is,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. What we fire not prepared for fires at data centers, and I'm wondering who is going to pay. How are you going to handle if there's a fire at this data center, and who is going to pay for the extra firefighting resource need?
That's a great question. Thank you. So that actually can be a part of the community benefit plan, because we have to develop the emergency response plan, and if the local fire resources do not have the apparatus or training, then we will provide it absolutely. So it's a good question. Thank you.
Hi. So my question is, I want to know where your guys' money is coming from.
Yes.
If most people in this room don't know, I'll tell you, 90% of the United States' congressmen, representatives, anybody in the government at a city level, federal level, even our president, is bought and paid for by IDF and Benjamin Netanyahu. I want to know exactly where your money's coming from. I see your accent is definitely not from central Wisconsin, so you clearly didn't learn about how the water system works in the United States. Groundwater fills into the river. River water fills back into the groundwater. So if you're trying to do a 10,000 gallon loop, you're going to end up taking water out of the river every time you need water. That's going to end up hurting our groundwater, which is already devastated. And how is it going to be replaced? Because we're not getting enough rain because one of his best friends, Bill Gates, is running the whole weather seeding and, droughting us.
We've had our hands up a while.
So what's the question?
Here. So
What's the question?
Where are you getting your money at?
Where are you getting your money? How much is this?
We went through, you know the story probably. Some of you did some research online, right? And PNK withdrew the brand from Russia in 2024. So what you're trying to say, we don't.
What?
Okay.
Who is your connection then?
So we recycling our capital all over and over again, like buildings, we're leasing them, we're selling them. This is how we make money. And we're very proud of our product.
Who's behind you?
Where's the money?
Check. So you're building this facility, and it's essentially a rental property. So you're renting it to whichever AI or data company is going to probably pay the highest price. It's obviously quite a bit cheaper to run a data center or something of a like-kind facility if you're not using the kind of cooling that you're explaining to us. Is there anything stopping one of these companies who's going to be your tenant from implementing a cheaper, river-fed system?
That's a great question. Thank you. So that must be also part of this development agreement. So we need to have this in writing, and it must be signed off by the development. Absolutely.
They've had their hands up here. We've had our hands up back here.
How many communities have you tried to build one of these centers in, and how many have turned it down?
So we are developing 2 other facilities in Pennsylvania. We are going through the right now.
I know that it's all hypothetical with you, but you have a blueprint up here. What is your projected employment for this center for skilled IT on-site
Local
Grand
jobs.
Rapids people?
So as I said before, it's anywhere from 50 to 150 people that will be working on site.
From Rapids?
We have approximately 700,000 square feet.
Speak in the mic.
I have a close friend who worked in a 22,000 square foot data center in Red Oak, Texas, outside of Houston. They employed 2 FTWO, full-time, on-site technical. The rest of the people that were employed by the site were security. Most of them were rent-a-cops. They weren't even full-time employees at the center. I think your job expectation is maybe 2 to 5, and I think 5 is the high end. There are very few data centers that employ 100 full-time experienced IT people anywhere around the globe. I'm well versed in this. I worked for a Fortune 500 company that ran multiple data centers around the globe.
Right. I don't really know the specific product in that small data center that you just mentioned. It really depends on the product, right? It's very dependent on the product.
Okay, so we want to get you all your...
What was the capacity? What was the AC capacity of the data center? Do you know?
We need the mic again.
You cannot measure. So this is the mistake that a lot of people are making. You cannot measure the capacity of the data center out of the square footage.
Okay, go ahead. No, sir, we want to get to everybody.
Why has yours got to be so big?
So, with already soaring gas prices, diesel prices, everything else, now these generators are going to be taking fuel from the area, obviously. The gas stations everywhere. Like, Rapids is typically cheaper when it comes to getting fuel. Out of Clover, Stevens Point. I work in Stevens Point, live in Rapids. I always get my gas in Rapids because it's 30 cents cheaper usually. Can you tell us how much the fuel is going to skyrocket because of this? Because not only is the war causing the prices to jack up around Wisconsin, so are these data centers.
Okay.
And then also to go along with that, I never heard if anybody asked, so you're tapping into the city's water. I live right in town, I'm on city water. How much is my water bill going to go up? Can you explain that to me? Because I'm sure it's going to go up a lot.
Okay, so first on the diesel, under normal operations, there is no consumption, right? They start to work only if the grid is down. And again, just going back to Mountain County, they didn't have any issue with the grid during the last 5 years. This is what told us last week. So no, we do not expect any impact on the fuel prices. On the water, again, and I said this a couple of times already, this is just 10,000 gallons per day. This is nothing. This is absolutely the same as we just built a warehouse. That's it.
Okay, someone over here earlier asked about diesel. You said there's no diesel. Someone over here asked about the backup generators. You said there'd be multiple people have asked rightly about your financial crimes and why we should trust you to come here and build something. And you said trust was earned and didn't tell us how the hell you were going to earn it. Now I'm going to ask you some yes or no questions because you clearly seem to struggle with that. Does or has anyone named Ruslan work, volunteer, consult, or communicate for or with PNK?
Say it again, please.
Does or has anybody named Ruslan, R-U-S-L-A-N, work, volunteer, consult, or communicate for or with PNK?
Yes or no?
Well, we have a lot of different partners.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
We had a partner with the name of
Great. So you said earlier you didn't talk to the city until 2026. We had an email from Ruslan to the city December 16th, 2025. So another lie.
So,
Next, yes.
No. Just
We've got
that's not
time
the
for
question. No,
no,
just one second. Ruslan is not our employee. And PNK, again, the question was PNK involved in the project before April? The answer is very, very simple. No. Is it clear?
Oh, a different shelter.
Whatever you say. Next, you're clear about the closed loop system. Is that true? That's what the system here will be using if it's built. So I'm reading from a Forbes article because I know you guys really like us to cite our sources. It says that fill and flush is a commissioning step with crews who use a closed loop system. And in Wyoming, a data center using a closed loop system released antibacterial resistant bacteria into the city water supply and is not having any repercussions for that. So how are you going to make sure that that isn't happening here? And we're not getting antibacterial resistant bacteria into the city water supply that you're going to be using and we're going to be paying for?
It's very simple. We just need to comply with the rules. I don't know what happened. You're asking about my data center. and you're referring to someone else's data center. That's just not fair.
It's very
You asked
fair.
me what we're gonna do. We comply with the rules. That's it. It's very simple.
I'm sure they said the same thing.
Corrupt.
Check, check. Thank you. I really haven't appreciated the answers today. I kind of feel like that's where the mayor kind of gets his talking in circles and just deflecting. Anyway, but thank you for coming. I had 2 questions. You before said that you would be building the infrastructure. You do have some tenants in mind. Name 3.
I cannot name them.
Why can't you?
This is all under NDA.
That's the reason, excuse me, but the reason it's concerning, again, is because, you know, there was a federal executive order, they can use it for detention centers. You're gonna build this building, and whatever the fuck can go in there. We don't know what's going in there.
Thank you.
Okay?
I understand.
So when can we expect who's going in there as a tenant?
Once we'll sign the lease.
I don't like your answers today. It's fishy. And one last thing I do want to say is before we even knew, oh my gosh, I am shaking. It just feels the corruption, the bribery. I thought it about Michael Tim, Kyle Kearns, the mayor. Ew. It feels disgusting and corrupt. And then to see him brought on. Bad move. That's disgusting.
Before I ask my question, I just want to call a spade a spade. He gets paid to help convince community. He's building this. His company's building this. We can ask all the questions and pose all our concerns that we want. But they have a goal to build this and to sell us on it and to not have opposition.
It's gonna go through.
All of these small meetings are meant to make us tired and, oh, we've been heard. It's not.
What are your
It's not for us. This meeting is not for us. It's for them to try to sell us. So you said no heat, no water contaminants. Is this going to be the first infrastructure with no pollution? I want to hear one potential drawback from this from you, because nothing in life is perfect. So that's not going to be perfect. So all you dismissing our concerns, it's just not accurate. And they don't make sense that there's not going to be heat into the air, heat into the water, chemicals, all these things mentioned. But there's going to be a potential drawback. Name one drawback, because nothing is perfect. Nothing works 100% of the time.
Yes.
Mike's gonna have to come back on that.
I think that, again, to the number of the jobs question, right? So this facility indeed does not create a lot of jobs. So I think that probably that's the
What a pussy answer. Easy out.
Hi. So, a lot of questions have been asked that I have, but the one question I have is it seems like you came here unprepared. So answer any questions. There's been questions about, well, if the wells dry up, are you going to reimburse those people or pay for those? And you're very vague that nothing's going to happen, but you won't guarantee if something miraculously did that you're going to cover it. You mentioned jobs, but you can't guarantee that these jobs are going to be available for Wisconsin Rapids residents. Why did you come here unprepared, I guess is my main question. Why did you not advertise this meeting? Especially since you've been throwing out those PNK surveys on like our social media sites and trying to get us to respond on what we think about this data center. That would be question number 2. And then my third one is, what are your qualifications to answer any of these questions? And why did you not bring people who could answer the questions the right way?
Again, as I said in the very beginning, the purpose of this meeting is to establish connection, to start the dialogue. And we have a lot of good questions from you, and this is, I think, absolutely normal that not all of them are answered right now. We have engineering questions that we have to take and do some homework, and we will repeat this again. Right?
Travel to the U.S. not prepared?
My question though is, why did you not come prepared knowing knowing we were gonna have questions.
Because it's a done
This
deal?
is our community. You're asking us to trust you, and you are not coming with the answer.
I'm doing my best answering the questions.
You
right?
suck.
Because
Is this a done deal already? Is it a done deal?
Let me finish. So what you need to understand, that this is the part of the community engagement that we
My
are trying
main
to do.
question then is not going to give us any other answers here so we feel safe and secure and listened to. Answer their question about those wells. Answer their
what,
question
sorry?
if those wells drain out, because you're saying this water system is not going to impact
Yes, it
the
will.
rivers and the wells and everything. If they dry out, are
They
you
will not
paying
dry
for
out.
it?
Look,
If
we
they
can-
do, if they do, you can understand what I'm saying. If they do, will you guarantee right here, there's cameras everywhere, people listening, miraculously they drain out, are you going to
I
cover?
understand the question. Thank you. So if that happens,
Because that's happening in Beaver Dam right
if
now.
that
The
happens
system's
because
not
of the
even.
data
Yes, sir. I
center,
don't need. I
if
don't.
that happens
Yes or
because
no?
of the data center, we absolutely will address this.
Yes or no? You know what?
Yes.
And
that's there won't be any impact on the wells.
I want to guarantee that if there is, you're covering. That wasn't the question.
Guarantee what?
So, can I have your attention please for a second? Because this question is asked over and over again and answering and it doesn't seem to. So, if there is any negative impact on the wells because of the data set, so I guarantee that we will address this in the wells. Is it okay?
No.
Is it okay?
Addressing and completing are different.
Let me ask another question since you know that. So you are throwing money around hand over fist. Obviously, you have been given a green light from whoever you're working with. And we all know our mayor wants a little bit of that revenue coming in for gas stations, which I don't believe is worth one penny of it. It's not worth living for. So my question to you is, the mayor always keeps saying it, said it yourself too, well, we have ordinance we have to follow, we have a penalty. My question always to the mayor was, and so forth, so what's $10,000 a day for your company? Peanuts. And we can't fight you guys once it's here. The city will go broke. So I'm sure you're dealing with companies, you're probably working with an open checkbook, correct?
Creditor.
You're giving some incentive. Get whatever you can get out of them, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's a good point. So absolutely, let's work on this. I understand the concern that $10,000 for the data center campus is really nothing. So we need to find a way how to force the compliance with the ordinance and the rules.
Call on that guy.
Because Beaver Dam system is not even up and running yet, and it is also a closed loop system. But people in Beaver Dam have private wells running dry. There's news stories on this. There's dramatic creek level fluctuations, milky and chemical smelling water. How is yours going to be different?
Look, I can't really comment on what is happening there in that specific project. Again, we are not touching the river. We are not pulling the water.
Then why are you building it?
Right next to the river. It's coming.
Look, again, I don't know what is happening specifically in this project.
Okay, so our wells are very shallow.
That was from them charging their facility.
Please continue.
Our water levels are very shallow. Like my well is only 30 feet deep. Like once that water's gone, it's not coming back. So how is your center going to be different if it's a closed loop system?
Because we are not pulling the water from the system.
Then why are you choosing that spot?
You're referring to someone else. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
the
what is
data
happening
center
there.
that's in Beaver Dam that's not even up and running yet, and people's wells are dry.
Do some research on it. You should know. You should
Look,
know.
I understand the concern. I understand the concern.
You're the
Again,
expert.
the closed loop does not go anywhere from the system. I said,
Tell us you don't know.
You are the developer, right? You are the developer. This sheet here is all points that you put out. But again, it's these are your opinions. There's nothing to hold you to this, right? At the moment. So, where's the independent data? You came here today with a mock-up behind you, and that's it. You didn't come up there and say, hey, I'm the developer, this is what this looks like, this is how this works, let me tell you how it runs, let me tell you some benefits about it, and so now I'm going to give you some time to actually talk, because we're all asking pretty much the same concerns and questions.
Yeah, Eric opened it up.
Because you are not educating on what you're making. We have no data, no facts on this. These are your opinions.
Yeah.
This isn't going to hold you to anything.
No,
Or
I agree.
hold our place, our home to anything.
No, absolutely. Thank you, and I agree with you. We need to do some more on this, absolutely.
The U.S. isn't dumb.
You're supposed to sell it to us. And you don't even know what you're talking about. What about your
That's not
true.
true. We, again, the purpose of this meeting is to establish the dialogue with you. Like, we'll have to do it again, but this is how the dialogue works. You ask the question, and then you get the answer. We will arrange another meeting.
It's non-existent, just like
Might as well not bother. We don't want you here.
That I've listened to today when I have a question after. You have said that this design has not been done in this country before, but
Say it again?
you have told us that your design has not been built in this
That's
country
not correct.
before.
It was built several times. The closed loop already exists. This is what I said.
You said you were not
It's many in many
You
places.
said it was not. So now you're not even keeping up with your own lives.
That's not correct.
That is correct. After the transfer code gentleman said that you were going to be breaking our laws, you said you will need to get that info for a design. So one time you say you have a design, the next time you say you're building a design. You are in a city that was built on this river. This is our history. And you come in here without being able to tell us how much water you actually need to fill your closed loop system. You are unprepared or you're lying. You cannot guarantee our electric rate increases. You will not promise to drill new wells if they go dry. You're saying that there's 50 to 150 jobs here, but then you say it depends on who rents it, so you can't guarantee even those jobs. You said, oh my God, I can't even read my own writing because I was writing so fast because I couldn't believe this. You said that you don't use diesel, but then later on you say you use diesel generators for your backup system. So my question to you is, did you come in here today thinking that we were going to be guinea pigs and not realize it with your new system? Or did you think that we were just a bunch of pigs who don't know what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I'm absolutely honest. And second, let me answer some of the points, and you probably will have to repeat some. So on the diesel, the question was, do we use it for the permanent generation? No, we do not. We use the diesel only for the backup if the grid is down. Okay? On the wells, to your point that we do not guarantee something, we do guarantee if there is a problem with the wells because of the data center, we'll take care of it. Okay? The closed loop system exists in many places, right? So there is no problem to share more details on it. That's not true. That's not correct.
Give her back the mic.
It's not just talking
No,
about the closed
so
loop.
the closed loop exists, it's built, it's an operation, and it can be, there is an evidence, so, no, absolutely. Okay?
Hello? Okay, so back to the 85-degree water and our water that's already lower on average in the past 6, 7, 8 years every year. But the springs out by us too, up here in Kellner, past Kellner, I was driving past there 2 days ago, we were fishing, and I've never seen them stagnant. They're not flowing, they're not full, they're weedy as can be. This will affect that. It'll be taking 10,000 gallons or so per day, like you said, right? 5 gallons is too much. We don't have 5 gallons to give. We're struggling for water right now as it is. The cranberry marsh is out there as, I can't remember his name, but he was in here a little bit ago. That Cranberry Creek does feed like 15, 20 marshes, and you're going to close it off. That's entirely illegal. But we use this water, and none of it, we don't want to give you any of it, is all I want to say. We're already struggling. Our city's already struggling with the water. Your regular bill is not going to help. It's going to further put us down the hole. So that's all I want to say, mainly the people around here.
This guy.
The question I have goes back to the question you asked earlier regarding Ruslan. Relatively based on a lot of this stuff. The CUP that PNK group applied for, who signed that as a property owner? The property owner? Yeah, who signed their name as a property owner? You mean the specific name? Yeah. That's the William Firestone. But why asking?
Louder.
Ruslan Jr. signed it as a property. He signed this in April. Yes, he submitted this in April and signed the application. Right. But he's not the owner.
Interesting.
You said you wanted an allocation null and void in 2025. Wow.
Again, I think the question was about our involvement before April. We did not have any involvement.
That's not what the open records say
Please
at all.
demonstrate this.
Please cite it.
Please demonstrate this. Please show it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll send it to you. Give me your email.
Oh yeah, I can follow up with more information.
For everybody who doesn't know who I am,
Oh,
my
God.
name is Kevin Fangman. I'm a retired IT professional. I've worked in data centers.
You're an indoctrinated fool.
Let him
Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm also commissioner for Waterworks and Lighting.
So you're in the mafia.
Sure,
Let him speak.
So on this water level thing, and I'm hearing out in areas where you're at.
It's everywhere. It's not.
Well, hang on.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay.
Well, in our area, Wisconsin,
Okay.
river,
Baron and Keller. Okay.
everywhere.
I'm just going to tell you that we measure the water level at the wells, and we, as commissioners, see this every month. And actually, the water levels where we are not going down. Now, I can't speak. You can look at the public records from the Waterworks and Lighting Commission.
Call the thing every day. I call the big number every day.
No, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about something else now. Okay, we run the utility for the city. Okay, I'm one of the commissioners. Okay, our water supervisor, Adam, checks this every month. Now, I'm not disputing that you yourself are having water problems. Because I don't oversee it. Okay, but I am saying that the city's water supply, those 5 wells that we have, okay, we monitor the levels, and even in this drought, we went with like 28 days, I think it was, without rain. We haven't seen anything. I would also encourage people in the public. Those are open meetings. They happen the second Tuesday of every month at 2 o'clock in the. I'm sorry, I said second Wednesday of every month at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I know not everybody can get to those because you have jobs and other concerns.
Nobody can get to those.
Okay.
The general populace in the community.
So the point is that all of that information is written up. The packets are available, and right in there it shows you what the water levels are. So I'm not in any way saying that, this is. So there's that. I just want you to know that. Okay, but I have specific IT questions for you. You've been talking about the cooling system. I think you need to release a specification because I understand the closed loop cooling system versus the chillers versus the inrush current systems that they would use, like if you would draw from a natural source. I understand that. Can you release a configuration of that cooling system so that people like myself who understand that can look at that and make an assessment as to what that will do to our environment? Can you get that to us?
That's a good idea, absolutely. Yes.
You are independent data.
Okay. The second thing has to do with power, and I read this UP months ago, and I have questions about the power because the numbers in my head don't add up. Okay, you're talking about Quipco and their distribution, which, by the way, doesn't affect the city distribution. The city distribution is Waterworks and Lighting. Quipco is a different thing. All right, so those dams, those 5 dams, my understanding is their maximum output is somewhere between 50 and 60 megawatts. And I keep hearing different numbers between 125 and 150 megawatts for your facility. And I know you wouldn't be using the diesel generators. I understand, again, IT person, that was our backup, I get that. How do you get the additional roughly 100 megawatts of power to run this when you're at full capacity, which I understand is supposed to be in like 2.5 to 3 years?
So we are working with the ATC and Quipco on this. So there must be a certain number of upgrades of the infrastructure. The specific scope we will share soon. We don't know it right now. We know that there is a capacity. We know that there is a capacity. We know that it is possible. But the way it will be actually done in terms of infrastructure rate, it's been engineered right now. Sure.
Yes, please,
And
Emily.
please say if there is PNK.
I asked you earlier about Ruslan specifically, and then you said he was involved at some time in April, and this email is from 2025. It's from Ruslan to Kyle Kearns. It says, "Hi Kyle, pleasure to meet you. Aaron Westford from Solaris provided your contact information. Our group is looking to potentially acquire an industrial site in Wisconsin Rapids with the goal to convert it into data center. Would be great to introduce myself to you when you have time this week. I'm also in Wisconsin Rapids this Thursday and can stop by for a meeting in person in the afternoon. Looking forward to your response. Best regards, Ruslan." That was from December 16th, 2025. That email was forwarded by Kyle Kearns to Matt Zacher. Matt Zacher on December 17th, 2025 responded, "Thank you for reaching out. It is exciting to hear your interest. My availability this week is limited, with Thursday morning open until about this time, Friday morning till this time. Otherwise, we can schedule something virtually next week. I look forward to hearing more about the project."
Why is his name on the permit?
No. So
You
please,
did. You lied over and over and over again.
please explain.
No, we don't want your explanation when it's
You will not
bullshit.
find the answer then.
We don't need to lie harder.
Okay, hello, my name is Colin from the library, and this meeting needs to wrap up because there's another group that's going to be using this room. So, in the next couple of minutes, we just have to wrap this up.
Give the mic to the guy in the blue hat. The guy in the front. Give it to the guy in the front. That guy. Thank you.
My question really is, you've been here, I've been here this entire time, listening, watching, and you are all about truck, and you are going to work, and you have all these proposals, and you're going to put bells and whistles and fairy tales and rainbows all over the fucking place. But I'm real curious about Social Circle Georgia and all the unethical shit you guys did there. And went against what the council and the mayor voted for, went against what the people of the town wanted, sold your warehouse to the DHS so it'd be an ICE facility. All of this, when the city looked, you all said no, get out, that's not what we want. And you were all hugs with your fake answers and your nothingness until the DHS walked in and you got your profits and you got the fuck out. Woo! I know it didn't happen that way, because other shit happened. The DHS is run by both moves and we're all fucking victims of it. But you're the same fucking shit. It's all cut from the same cloth. Nothing is said. You're all double talk. You came here with no yeah. You brought the fucking drive master that's sucking.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah!
Violated every ounce of trust and respect.
Corruption! You're brave to come here. Brave!
You fucked up, homie. You're done. And you are
Peace out.
Better come back with truth.
Wait,
I want to get a picture.
What's 20 more fucking questions?
Okay.
fires.